Good morning, guys. This is another weekly outlook, weekly slash daily outlook, right? Um, I'm back. I traveled and I just returned today. Um, this I returned this dawn, right? So, uh, s- let's get this party started, right? I actually recorded a video on Friday. I was supposed to put it out, but um, I wasn't able to. It's over an hour long, so it's just a market recap, and then with a lot of ranting, right? I did a lot of ranting on that. So if you would like to um, watch that video, I'd post it later today. Not later today, but within the week, right? I'm going to post that video within the week, so you can look out for that. I did a market recap for last week and I touched on what to expect and I touched on some other topics as well. So we could just go through it. If you might find a nugget or two in there. So that's basically it. So let's start with the market outlook for this week. And as you all know, we always start with DXY, and we are going to the monthly time frame, right? So everything still remains the same, right? For now on the monthly, we have the same targets, right? We have the same targets. So let me not take this off. I'll use it to explain what I'm expecting. Like I was saying, the video I did on Friday, I used this to make some illustrations. So let's just start with the monthly, right? I've been saying it for like over a few weeks now that I'm expecting this candle to, close like this, like the month of July. So the month of July should close like this. We might even go up to sweep here, but I mean, I am, let's see how it goes. All right, let's see how it goes. But this fair value gap will be left open, and then we would either have August and September sweeping July's low to tag into the monthly fair value gap, and or so where it might tag the monthly fair value gap in reverse, right? Or tag the monthly fair value gap and the monthly order block here, right? Before reversing higher to take this high. This is our um, what I call uh, low hanging fruit, what ICD calls a low hanging fruit, right? The target that has the highest probability of getting hit. This is that target for the dollar, right? Right now. If we're going to target this, you could target this, you could target this high, but I mean, they are unrealistic at the moment, right? But this one is 95%. I don't want to say 100, but I mean, because yeah, but market would hit this high. It might not hit it now, but it would hit this high, right? We are going to take this high, right? That's a fact, right? And I want to see what we get here. If we get a deeper retracement, then maybe we could get August also bearish, right? And August, September also bearish, and then hitting this candle. right? And once we get the hit on this candle, I mean, you should be ready to, if you're selling the foreign currencies, you sell the foreign currencies and you sell hard. But before you sell, please make sure you are aligned with the trend, right? And you see whatever confirmation it is you use on your entry time frame. Always make sure you get your confirmation before you get it. Okay? Yes. So that's basically it for the monthly on DXY. I mean, you can go through my previous videos. I've explained why we are looking for higher prices here, right? This is just a pullback into the premium range of this, right? The premium, yeah, right? The premium part of this range, right? Sorry, it's so cold. Yeah, so this is just a retracement, right? Back into the premium half of this um leg, right? So yes, and this is where we're expecting price to, reverse from. Right now we're having a fair value gap form here. What that means is we either see price come back into this target, and once it does, you should be looking to, go hard on this and target this high. Sorry. All right, so let's go to the weekly, right? Um, Now on the weekly, this is the monthly fair value gap, right? This is the beginning of the monthly fair value gap on the weekly. This low here, right? So a bit extended a bit. So we're expecting price to trade lower. So far um we've had June, how many weeks? So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. We've had the same close, not necessarily the same close. So we closed here, we closed here, closed here, closed. So we've had the same close around the same level, right? For for over how many weeks now? For over 3 weeks now. We've had the same close around the same level, right? Now, what I'm looking for here is for price to trade lower anyway, but you should understand that we are reacting off of a weekly point of interest, right? Which is a weekly fair value gap, right? I am expecting this to fail at some point anyway. Not necessarily fail because we could still sweep, right? And then close higher. So if we close inside this fair value gap, it's still valid, right? Even if we sweep this low, this is the monthly fair value gap open, right? Yes, this is the open or the high, right? So even if we trade into it here, we can have the weekly candle still close inside of this box and it will still be valid, right? And then the following week can just continue higher, right? So what I'd like to see is for price to trade lower. Ideally, right? Because there are two things we might get here. One, a deeper retracement. And if we are getting a deeper retracement, we might trade down to sweep this low here, right? Because this is a liquidity point that is closest to the 50% of this range, right? The leg starts here and then ends here. So low of the range to high of the range, right? We have a break of market structure here as well. So we could see price come offer us a deep retracement into this zone. If you see price doing this, please don't change your bias to bearish. Well, I mean, I am not asking you to though, but for me, I would not change my bias to bearish because I understand what's happening on the higher time frame. You need context, and this is what I'm giving you, right? What is just happening is a pullback, an extended pullback, right? But as long as this low has not been threaded through, right? We've not had the candle closure below this, we're still bullish long term, right? So you could see the market trade up to this point, in fact, very close to the low, or in some occasions, even sweep it, right? It rarely happens, but it can. If it sweeps this low, it can sweep this low and still continue higher, right? But this doesn't really occur. It's not a common occurrence in price on the higher time frame. And when I'm talking about the higher time frame, I mean, because you see, oh, we could, we could, to think of it, we could actually sweep this low, right? And it's possible, right? But as long as we are not closing, we're not having full body candle closures below this low, I'm bullish. So we could see price trade up to this point, right? And then start reversing. You don't need to change your bias to bearish. Well, I won't change my bias to bearish. I'm not telling you to change your bias to bearish or ask it to. I am not telling you what to do anyway. I'm just letting you know that this is how I see price. And this is how price moves, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to change your bias to bearish, right? You shouldn't anyway, because we're still bullish, right? We're still bullish. Overall trend is still bullish. I mean, for now, right? If you take into consideration what's happened in the past 1 year, right? We're bullish. So if we're checking for, we're in July now. So July last year would be, July, September, July. Yes. So this is it, right? This is it. So it's not even up to here. So we started this January. Yes. So since January, right? We've been bullish since January this year, right? And we're not about to change that at the moment. Price is not about to change that at the moment. So I'm super bullish on dollar for now until we take out this monthly fair value gap. And I reckon we might even trade higher, right? We might trade higher or up into, these zones. There's another liquidity points that might be targeted at some point, but please leave this out of it for now. This is not, what is it called? A high probability zone, right? I am not giving you this as a target. What I'm saying, we could trade higher to even come hit this high, right? I mean, what I always say is within the range, every high or low is fair game. It's a liquidity point, right? So market could sweep it. And this leg, right? This leg on the monthly time frame starts from this high and ends at this low. So all the highs within this even this one here is fair game. Price can come and sweep this high, right? Sweep it. Just buy some. I mean, that small thing. These are weekly time frame, so that small move is over 50 pips or even 100 pips, right? And then start trading lower, right? We could do that. We could sweep that high, right? And it's okay. It's okay. Price could do that, and it's okay. It's fine, right? It's fine. So you don't have to switch up uh your bias like that. You have to always follow price on the higher time frame to see where it's going. That's how come I'm a very good swing trader, right? Because I have the overall long-term trend in mind, right? So when price is sweeping highs and lows and low on the lower time frames, like 4 hour, 1 hour, and all that, I'm not concerned because I always know what to look out for and where to look out for them, right? Like now, where I'm telling you that we could see a deeper retracement, and that's it's 100% legit, right? It's 100% legit. Price can come for this low. Price can come for this low. If you watch, we've not taken any liquidity at this point. We are yet to. We are yet to. Right? So we could see price trade lower up to this point or even up to this point before it continues going higher. Right? So you need to have this at the back of your mind. You have to have this in mind so that when you're trading and then you see price starts coming down aggressively, you don't get scared. And then say, oh, we're now bearish, you're bearish. And once you change your bias to bearish, then price starts trading up. And you say, oh, Forex is hard. Forex is a scam. Forex is difficult if you don't know what you're doing, though. It can be frustrating. But it's always good to have the macro trend in mind. Like, right? There are other things you can do to supplement this, right? Um, let's see what we have this week. Okay, what are the news we have? Um, okay. Since I trade mostly the dollar, I'm really dollar focused, right? And then we have, okay, on euro, we have news on Thursday. We have CPI on Wednesday for GBP. So, um, let's see. Let's see. Yeah. I don't trade the card pair, so I'm not. Okay. Yeah, we have jobless claims. Okay. All these ones are okay, okay. So we might have some liquidity injected into the market this week, right? So let's be prepared. Let's be prepared and see what price does, right? So as I was saying, we could see a deeper retracement, right? Back to my point. We could see a deeper retracement. That's one. Two, we could see price react from this weekly fair value gap, right? We're still within range. We're still within the weekly fair, but we've tested it multiple times, right? We've tested it once, twice, the third time, and now we're testing it again for the fourth time, which is giving me signs that this might fail, right? It might fail, but then doesn't really mean, it doesn't really mean much, right? Because we could see price trade, we're already trading into this. We could see price trade into this and continue higher from here, 100% valid, 100% valid. We could also see price come and tag this order block here. Sorry, this weekly order block here. This weekly order block here. Jeez. We could see price tag this weekly order block here. So we could see price tag this order block here and continue higher, right? Which is still the same thing. And then the third scenario, we could see price trade and take out this low or maybe this low, but I'll just target this low for now, right? We could see price target this low and then trade higher. So these are the three possible scenarios, right? That could happen, right? When I mean trade lower into this is also accounted for, right? So we could see price sweep this and this, but I'll just use this because, I mean, if we sweep this and the liquidity we've gathered is not enough, we could sweep this for more liquidity, which would then push price higher, right? So that's that's it. So this is what I'm looking out for in DXY, right? The pullback. However, if we're going to see price react from this zone, right? Because we now have to uh, work on that, right? So that's the yes. So this explains why I have these three circles, right? These three circles are indicating the points we could see a reversal at, right? So we could see a reversal here. We could see it. We get a reversal here within this candle. Once price tags this candle, and we could see a reversal at the low, right, of this candle, right? Once price sweeps the low of this candle, we could get a reversal from here as well. So these three dots are just indicating where we could see a reversal at, right? A point where we could get a reversal, right, from this short-term bearish trend, right? So, and I'll post the video. I'll post that video within the week. Like I said, I'll post it. So if you want to watch, you could come back later on to, go through. But please, that I did a lot of ranting on that video, right? So I mean, my process, how I take trades, how I do. I just went off, you know. So you could find it very insightful. I mean, depending on what you want anyway. So, um, like I said, we could see a continuation of this trend, right? Right now we're in a mini bearish trend, right? So we could see a continuation of the bearish trend, having in mind the points where uh, we need to see price reverse, right? So we're in point one. Now, if this point fails, what that means is this would be the next point where we could see a reversal. If this point fails, then this would be the next point where we could look for a reversal, right? So we could see price trade all the way down here. And believe me, when price is trading down, we're going to get opportunities, right, to participate in this market. Like last week, I had a few opportunities. I only got 2 trades last week, one on Euro USD and one on gold, right? And I'll touch on the gold when I get to the pair, right? So we're definitely going to get a trade or two, so you need to be on the lookout, right? But I'm just giving you where prices might look to um, react or reverse from, right? So if we're going to reverse from this weekly order block that we are currently sitting in, right? What I need to see in price is for price to take out this 4-hour high, right? I need to see price trade above this, right? Trade above this high, right? When it trades above this high, what that means is we're now invalidating a bearish order block which swept liquidity, right, before breaking structure here. So what that means is we've broken this, right? We need to then see a pullback, and this one is risky. This is risky, right? Ideally, you want to see this high break as well, right? That will give you much more confidence in maybe taking shots on EU and the likes. But once we have price trading over this, you can then um, look for entries, right, on the lower time frame to then continue higher, right? So if we don't get this break, right, then price would continue to go down to our points of interest, our other points of interest. So right now we're in zone 1, which is the weekly fair value gap, right? And if we want to confirm that the weekly fair value gap is going to hold, we need to see price trading above this high and also above this high as well. But this is the high I want price to trade above. And once we trade above this high, and then we flip this fair value gap, right? It then turns into um, an inverted fair value gap, right? So you could then see price trade lower to use it as a point of interest, right? Or as support to continue higher. You could see price trade into this, right? Or we could see price trade lower and then give us a continuation signal. So yeah, that's about it on DXY. So let's not waste more time on this. All right, so let's move to the next pair. I'd like to do Euro USD first. So yes, based on uh, Friday daily buyers report, right? We said we could see price reacting off of this, right? This daily point of interest, right? We needed to see price. If we're going to continue higher anyway, we could see price reacting off of this and then or also coming down to this gap here, right? We could see price trading down into this gap to then continue higher, right? To mitigate this. So if dollar is going to trade lower, then we can be rest assured that we're going to get higher prices on the foreign currencies, which are like the Euro, USD, and the likes, right? The GBPs, right? The Great British Pound and the Euro. So we could see price trading higher, right? So um, we need to see, we need to see, okay, so we've moved, right? We've moved. The fair value gap is moving. And like the DXY, it's the same. I'm expecting the same for euro, right? We need to see price is forming this fair value gap, which we know might come into play very soon, right? If price should leave this open, then we are anticipating, right? We're anticipating price would, trade back into it and then come lower, right? This is the target on, uh, uh, this is my target on, euro, right? My long-term target on euro. Yeah, this is it. This is it. The monthly fair value gap, right? So, um, we need to see how this month closes, right? Before we could talk about what happens next. But I know this candle will close around this point, and when it does, we have how many weeks left? We have about so 2 weeks, right? We have about 2 weeks left. So after this week, we have just one more week, right, for price to then close. And if you look at the economic calendar, let's see what we have for next week. We have let's see. Mm, okay, 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 okay. Okay, so we have a couple of news events, but no major dollar event, right? I mean, that's one of the major market movers though. So no major dollar event within uh next week. So let's see how price develops anyway. But I mean, my long-term plan for this would be to see price trade back into this fair value gap after July is closed, and then we continue down. So we either see it trade into the fair value gap or trade into this other block here, right? So we could get a deeper retracement into this other block here before price then continue selling, right? So let's go to the weekly. I don't want to waste much time here. So on the weekly, you could see that we've tagged this fair value gap, right? We've tagged this fair value gap. And as you can see, we reacted, right? Dropped down. But price is still going to trade higher, right? Right? And this is a consolidation. I'm sure you guys know we're in a consolidation. I've been saying it from like the was it the first week of July or the last week of June or so. I've been saying it that I'm seeing signs of a consolidation, and so far we've confirmed that we are in a consolidation. All right. So we could see price. Let's see how this week continues, right? But this is a consolidation. This is a consolidation. And you should be able to spot this because for me, I don't really thrive in consolidation markets and consolidating markets, right? I like to trade trends, right? But that doesn't mean I don't take trades at all. I do take trades, but I mean, my my entry criterias are very strict and I don't risk as much, right? Especially when I'm counter trading, right? When I'm trading in the opposite direction of the overall trend, right? I always try to reduce my risks, always try to reduce my risk. So on the daily, we said we need to see price react off of this 2 points of interest, either this or this, right? And right now, that's what we're getting. So on the 4 hour, if we're going to continue this trend, right? I'm going to say continue this trend because we had a close above this, right? We had this break of structure, a pullback, sweeping liquidity, and then a break again above this. So this is valid. I mean, I wish we could have dropped deeper a bit, but this is valid, right? And um, let's see. We could sweep this low, right, into this zone here. We could sweep this low into this zone to then continue higher. We could sweep. So let me delete all of this. Let me see what's happening on the 4 hour first because, okay, so like I said, this is a zone we could look to uh, take advantage of, right? So it's not an inverted fair value gap though, but it's a gap. But I'm just going to use this to highlight it, right? Because I mean, so based on what I've said over and over again, right? We've had this new leg starts here, right? Starts here and then ends here, right? So if we see price trade down below this low, it's valid, right? It's valid. And this is me saying we're buying here just off the thinking that markets might continue to go down on the dollar. So if we're going to see lower prices on the dollar, then we're going to see Euro USD and the other foreign currencies go higher, right? We're going to see the other foreign currencies trade higher, right? Which, I mean, this is a very good liquidity uh, zone. This is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. So for you, I want to see how it develops. I would have loved to see maybe a deeper pullback into this, right? But since we're not getting that, let's see. Right now, we're trading. Let's see if we're going to get a close above this, right? If we get a close above this candle, I really wish we swept this low. I really wish we swept this low. Um, this is something to be. Oh shit. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. So, I really wish we swept this low, right? But that's fine. We can't always get what we want. But there's a sweep here, right? We had this big push up, right? Price tried to go back up, failed, swept this low, and then we've pushed higher. So if we're going to go off of this, we could see price react off of this, right? Because we've had a sweep here, right? Sort of. So if we break above this high, right? So if we see price trading above this high, right? This high here, we could look to enter from here, you know, on the lower time frames, maybe your 5 minute, 1 minute. Look for your entry signature and then target these two highs here. I wouldn't want to target this high yet, right? I mean, we're counter trading. It's valid, but we don't know if price will get there. But I mean, these two are my low hanging fruit, so I can target this, right? And then secure my profit and watch to see what price we do again, right? If we get another pullback again, then we wait for confirmation to trade higher again until maybe we hit the zone, right? And like I always say, you are not the market maker, right? So when you're trading, especially counter trend, right, you shouldn't be um, having like very outrageous targets, right? Like you want to trade from this low here and you're targeting this high. Yes, it's doable, but it's not ideal. It's not the ideal thing to do because whilst you're targeting this, price could decide to turn after sweeping this high or reverse after sweeping this high. So what then do you do? You're going to end up either losing or you break even because I mean price has traded above, it has given you a lot of money, and if you've not secured any form of any sort of profit and you say, oh, you're going to hold it until full TP or nothing, right? You're going to get wrecked. You're going to get wrecked, right? So especially when you're trading counter trends, right? You're going to get wrecked. So it's advisable you, I mean, keep your targets low when you're trading in the opposite direction of the trend, the overall trend. You need to, I mean, keep your targets sensible. You will need to have sensible targets, right? Don't be greedy. You know, the market rewards greed with pain, right? I mean, if you've not mastered your this, you shouldn't be looking to uh, taking long targets like that, right? So please, the ideal thing to do is just, take small targets. Once you hit it, you sit out, wait for the next setup, and then you go in again, right? So I'll be watching to see how price develops on EU, right? So we could see price trade above this high, give us a pullback, and then trade higher to take these two highs, or maybe even hit this high here as well. So um, that's it. And so sorry, let me point this out. This low could be swept. This low, before I forget, this low could be swept because I mean, again, I've defined the range for you, right? We have this low and this high, right? That's the range. So if this low is swept, don't panic. You can still look for longs to the highs, right? And one more thing to note, right? If we're going to continue the bearish trend, then I need to see price break below this low. I mean, once we break below and close below this low, I could get a form of a signal. I say, okay, we might be going lower. We might be going lower. Once we close, I get a full body candle closure below this low, right? It's a sign. It's a sign, but it doesn't mean that's what was to happen because we could see price do that and then still reverse, right? We had candle closures below this. We had candle closure. I mean, we've not actually violated the low here, right? We're still within range, low to high, right? You can see something like this because, okay, so we've traded higher here and then price has come back to take this low, right? Price came back and closed below this low. But that doesn't mean where the trend has been invalidated, right? We're still bullish, right? We're still bullish. I mean, short-term bullish, not overall bullish, right? Overall, I'm bearish on Euro USD, right? Yes. But right now we're having a pullback. So we don't know how long this pullback is going to um for be, right? We don't know how long. So let's just wait to see what happens, right? For me to change my bias to bearish or to revert back to I need to see price close below this. Ideally, yes, I need to see price close below this and maybe even this. But once we have price trading below this lows, I mean, we have to then look for lower prices, right? Yeah. But ideally for me, I want to see price trade higher, you know, since we have, this is the entire leg, right? So this is the entire leg. This is the high and the low. We have a break of structure here, which confirms the bearish trend, right? So we need to see price. I want some form of like a sweep. So if we're not getting a sweep on EU, we might get a sweep on GU. Already GU has taken a lot of highs, like, right? It has swept a couple of highs. So yes. So for now, I'm short-term bullish on Euro USD. Short-term bullish on Euro USD. So we'll see how price develops over the week. All right. So I'll be updating you guys like I did last week, right? So let's move on to the other pair. Um, for GU. For GU, we've been trading. Uh, we've been trading. This looks like a very huge consolidation, right? On the monthly, yeah, that's because it is. So for GU, this is my overall target, right? This low here is my overall target for GU, right? And for this is the low which I'll be targeting. GU doesn't have a fair value gap, right? So if we take out this low and then we still want to trade lower, could target this one as well, right? Because this overall trend is bullish, but this is just like a pullback, right? Down to this. Just like the dollar as well. The overall trend, like macro, is bearish, right? And this is just like a bullish retracement for the dollar, right? So you can see we're bearish on the dollar, right? We're very super bearish on the dollar. And if you go higher, go back a lot, you can see we're also bullish on it, but these are not necessary, right? All this side, it's not necessary, right? It's not necessary, but it helps with my thinking and my reasoning, right? And price. So this is what we're here to focus on, this side and price, right? So on GU, let's continue with the analysis on GU. So for GU, we've had a sweep of these highs, right? Which I've been calling out since last week. And like I said, this high as well is fair game. You could see price trading higher to this point, sweeping this before, trading lower. But for me, I don't want to see price violate this high, right? I don't want to see price violate this high. Because we've not gotten a break of structure below this high, it it doesn't confirm this high as a strong high. We only got a sweep of this low, right? If we had a break and a full body closure below this low, we would have confirmed this high as a strong high, but we didn't get that. We only got a sweep of the low, which means price could also come to sweep this high as well, right? And if we sweep it, I mean, a lot of people might say, oh, we're bullish, and then price starts tanking again. But you need to have that at the back of your mind. We could sweep this high. This is not a strong high for me at the moment. I mean, in the context of the weekly time frame, it is not. And I just gave you my reasons why it's not a strong high. It's because we didn't get candle, a full body candle closure like this. If we had, you see this candle, and we had it close, if this candle had closed here like this, it confirms the break of structure, right? Here. And then any pullback here shouldn't go above this high, because this would then be the strong high. But we didn't get that. What we got was a sweep, we got a sweep here, right? This is where the candle closed, back inside the range, which means we could also see price trade higher to sweep this high as well. And it's okay. It's okay, right? If we see that happening, immediately I'm looking for shorts. Right. Once I get, if we see price trade up to this point to there, I'll be looking for shorts. Right. Immediately I see that in price, I'll be looking for shorts, because once we get this high, we might not spend a lot of time here. Right. We can just hit it and then start dumping immediately. Right. So, that's just something to have at the back of your mind, right? Like I said last week, was it last week? Yeah. I said entering a trade here is not ideal. I said entering a trade here is not ideal because of this liquidity we're setting here, right? Now we've swept this liquidity into where I think we tagged it, and that's what caused this pullback. But like I said, if you got into this trade here, right? If you got into this trade here, I expect you to either be fully out of your trade, you've secured your profit, you've secured some profit and now in break even, right? Because price could go up. Like I said, I mean, I drew this before price even started doing all of this, right? I said we could see price trade higher, then reverse, come down, and then go back again. So if your stop loss is here or here, you could be swept. You could be targeted, right? Because what price wants to do is clear out liquidity, take out liquidity. And if the dollar is going to go um, lower and give us a deeper retracement, this high is going to be hit, because if you see the pound is really strong and the bullish moves are, it's been aggressive. So getting to this zone here is nothing. Right. Look at what we did in one day. I think this should be over 170 pips. This should be over 170 pips. Right. 160. Right. That just for one day. So we could easily do that here as well. Right. We could easily do that here on a day where we have news. Right. Yes. We could easily do that. So it's something you have to have at the back of your mind. You could come back to sweep this high and then reverse, right? Because we also have a zone here where we could see market reverse from, right? So you just need to be careful. I mean, this happened live. So if you've been following my videos, you could see this happened live. I told you this high could be swept when we were around this zone here. I said trading and entering and then holding your trade here, it's detrimental to your account, because you could see price, come for this highs. Because this is liquidity. And the way it's set, it's prime for a sweep, right? So we could also get another sweep into this and then continue lower, right? So two things, right? Two scenarios, still the same. We could get price trade lower, like I said, come back, sweep this high. So this high here is this high. We could sweep it here into trade into this zone here like this, right? So we could sweep it, break, and then pull back and then trade lower, right? So we could also reverse from here. You just need to be careful, depending on how long the dollar wants to, you know, um, trade lower. So if the dollar is going to be sweeping that low, we could also get a sweep of this high. So that's just something to have at the back of your mind. Moving forward, yes, we had last week. This gave me a nice trade on EU, right? So I caught, was it this? Yes, I caught a trade around this side on EU, right? Yes. So right now we're going to continue the trend, but I wouldn't be buying GU. I'm not trading GU at the moment. I'm just letting it do its thing, right? But if you want to trade GU, we're already at we're already below 50% of this. This is the range. And you might want to ask me why I'm drawing it. Hey, what the hell? Why I'm trading it? Why I'm taking the low from here to this high? Why I'm marking out this, right? Yes. The reason why I'm doing that is because this load swept liquidity before it started this move. So this push, even this pullback here, is still within this range, right? So the leg is from here to here, right? So to see price switch to bearish, we need to see price break below this low, right? Yes, I mean breaking below this low just means price would just definitely also break below this low. I mean, the distance is not up to 50 pips, 20 pips. So, yeah, how many pips? Yeah, 21 pips. Or 22 pips. So, yeah, we're going to have, for you can look to buy, but honestly, I wouldn't want to advise anyone to trade GU at the moment because it's just, I mean, well, we could do that. We could do that. We trade GU. If I'm going to trade GU, right? Let me give you what I think. If I'm going to trade GU, I think I have to hide some distance question. Yes, if I'm going to trade GU, I would like to see price. I was looking for points of interest on the higher time frame, but I'm not getting. But since GU is stronger than EU, let's see. Okay, we're having a pullback. Okay. Mm. For GU, you could buy, but I'm not seeing anything where I could anchor my trade, right? So this is not. So let's see if we get a sweep below this low, right? Maybe sweep into the or a movement back into this, right? Mark this zone here. Right? If we see price trade, uh, if we see price trade, okay, on the daily, there's something on the daily, right? Let's see, yeah, there's something on the daily. We have a daily fair value gap, right? So this is a daily fair value gap. Okay, okay. So yes, one D, yeah. So we have a daily fair value gap, and this is a daily order block, right? This. Yeah, not there. Yeah, 1D. So that's a daily fair value gap. So this is a daily order block. It aligns perfectly with this 4 hour order block as well, or this 4 hour zone I've mapped out. So if we see price trading into these zones, right, you could look to take longs, right? We could look to take longs to then target this high only, because I wouldn't really advise anyone to take this trade. But I mean, if you must trade, please look for confirmations on the lower time frame, and you need to guard your account, right? You don't just trade and then do that. So on a daily, yes. So if we're going to switch our bias to bullish now, we need to see price trade above this, right? So we could see price trade lower anyway. If we see price trading lower into this zone, right, with the idea that dollar might give us a deeper retracement, right? So if we get dollar sweeping highs, then we'll get GU sweeping lows as well. So if we sweep this low before then turning to give us a deeper retracement, right, then we need to see price hit here and then look for the market structure shifts and all that on the lower time frame to then get a trade. But if we're going to continue following the market as is, right, as it is at the moment, we need to see price trade above this high. From here, we need to see price trade above this high, get a pullback, and then we continue higher. But I won't be trading GU. I won't even lie to you. I wouldn't be trading GU. Target this high. That's all. So I'm expecting something like this, right? We either get something like this, get like 1:2. We easily get 1:2 on this, right? So let's say your entry was on the lower time frame, so you could get 1:2. Yeah, easily get 1:2. Let's see. Mm, easily get 1:2 from this trade, right? Because on the higher time frame we already did. So that's basically it, right? That's basically it. But then this second one here, if we get price trading back into the zone here, we target is high as well, 1:2, right? Yeah, I mean this is enormous stop loss, right? Stop losses. So you have to wait for price to get into the zone, and then you wait for market structure shifts, and then you look for entries on the lower time frame. But for me, I'm going to sit this one out, right? Okay. Good, 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 good. This is already playing out as I envisioned, or I think that on my Friday video, I analyzed this, right? That's why we have this here. So I was anticipating price to trade back into this fair value gap and then continue higher. We have hit the fair value gap, and this is what I was looking out for, man. This is this is good. 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 Now we have a break of structure on this, right? We could look to trade this. We could look to trade this on the pullback and target this high. What's that high? Yeah, we could target that high. Yes, but this will be your first high, your immediate high, right? So we could look to do that as well, right? It's still the same premise. I didn't go through the whole monthly failure, so let me go through for those who are just coming in, right? So I'll be posting that video, right? So right now we're inverting um this weekly order block, fair value gap. We're already inverted, and if we close, if this week's candle closes above this, then we could see price coming to sweep this high here, right? We could see price coming to sweep this high here, and that would be my ideal um place where I will see price to reverse from, right? Trade back into this zone and then see price reverse, because this is sitting above just 50% of this range, right? So you could see price trade higher and then continue lower. So for me, for AU, I wanted to see a deeper retracement, but I'm not getting that, so I'm not bothered. All right, we're already reacting off of the daily fair value gap. So what you just need to do now is wait for price to give you a pullback, right? We've had this, right? We had a low, we had a high here. Now, okay, so let me do this. So we had high, low, high, lower low, then with broken structure, right? So we need to see price trade back into this zone, right? And then continue higher. So that's what I'm looking out for on this pair. Today is Monday. We might get it today. So let's see. Let's see. We already broke above this. So, I mean, your reasoning should have changed from bearishness to bias. And we are reacting off of the daily fair value gap, which is a higher time frame point of interest. So yes, this is valid. You could take a small punt on this position. That gets this. Easily 1:2, right? So the next pair is, oh wow, we're still at the highs. Yes, I'm not going to analyze this pair because like GU2, this pair is repeat. This pair is repeat. We're already at this highs, so I expect it to go, right? I expect this highs to go. And looking at, yeah, a lot of, a lot of. Okay, so I was also expecting price to trade lower to this point, but we're not getting that. And because AU, NZD, New Zealand dollar is actually very stronger than AU, we're not getting that, and we are just reacting off of this. I won't be trading this anyway, but I mean, these are our targets, right? We need to see price trade from here to this point, and then maybe we'll look for um uh, uh, sales. We'll start looking for sales around this side, right? Around this zone. But yeah, let me see the daily. Did we get a break? Yes, we did. We did. So we could see price trade up until this on the daily time frame, right? To then reverse. To then reverse, right? Right? We could see price trade up onto this zone to then reverse. This, pardon me with this, my indicators, right? I use them to just spot things quickly, right? We can see fair value gaps here. It helps me not like switch to different time frames. This is my daily time frame, this is my weekly time frame, and this is my monthly time frame. So I always know what's happening on those time frames, even whilst I'm on the lower time frame, right? I'm always looking to see what's happening on those time frames. That's how I trade, right? So I don't have to be switching down back to then see what's happening, right? So that's why I use this indicator, right? Yes. So for this pair, I mean it's just reaping. So if you're going to get anything from it, I doubt we'll get a deeper retracement. So just look to enter off of this fair value gap that is forming now, right? So we could get 1 hour fair value gap. No, let's see. Do we have a 4 hour fair value gap? We're now coming to create that. So if that's the case, we have a 4 hour low, 4 hour high here, order block, right? So we could see price do this and then continue higher, right? Well, for now, I'm not trading this. So yeah, for this pair, there's an app I'm building. This pair, it's crazy. I'll make a video on that app later on, though, but yes, there's an app I'm building that gave me this signal. That's why I'm monitoring it. Right? I'm not actively trading it, but I'm monitoring it to see how the app uh performs, right? And so far it's been consistent, right? It's been consistent. So I'll see how it performs over time. Then if I want to share out, I will. I'm building it for myself personally, right? So I don't know if I would well, let's see. We might talk about it later on. Yeah. So I'm just monitoring this bit. Let's move to well, let's see, DXY, right? Yeah, I trade other markets as well. Yes. So for DXY, for Bitcoin, right? So here is my thinking when it comes to Bitcoin, right? We're at a very, 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 very important level in Bitcoin, right? A very important level in Bitcoin. And honestly, we're reacting off of this 12-month fair value gap. While price was at the high, I was always saying that we would get this 80%, I say 80%, this retracement to the 60,000 level, right? And but people thought I was joking. We've gotten this, but I need to see something, right? Right now we're still bearish, short term, right? But I'm overall bullish on Bitcoin. This is just a retracement, right? A very deep retracement, and this is my last line of liquidation, right? If we liquidate this low here, if we clear out this low here, I am super, super long on Bitcoin. If we get to 49,000, not 49,000, 49,111, right? That's the reading on the meter, 49,111. I'm blasting longs, right? I'm blasting longs. So you could wait to, if you're into crypto and all that, um, uh, trading, right? Maybe you might not be trading, this thing, you could just be buying coins, right? So if you're going to be investing in them, you wait for price to, you know, trade below this low, give you more discount prices, right? And then you buy. Because this last leg down would be very, very strong, right? It will be very, very strong. So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. So for dollar, so I say dollar, for Bitcoin, right? We are creating a fair value gap. We've created another block here, right? On a monthly time frame, right? Now we're creating another block as well. So once price is done creating this other block, right? We could then see price trade into it. Let me just use this for example. We could then see price because this candle is not closed there, so we don't have the close of the other block yet, or the open rather. Sorry. we don't have the open of the other block yet. So for the, yeah, low and high, right? So we don't have it yet, but we could then see price do this, trade into it, and into this fair value gap as well, and then trade lower to come mitigate this low, right? So once we get this in price, right, I am super, super bullish, right? I'm super, 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 super bullish, right? So it's still tied, it's still the same thing, right? The same thing for this. We're going to, we're trading to, let's say, 50% of this range, right? And then see price reverse. Um, what's next? Yes. So if we're going to do that, then how do we get ourselves involved in the market? Currently, what price is doing here is creating liquidity, and I don't like this. I don't like this, honestly. So we could see price dump to, let's say, this. We could see price do something like this, and then continue high, right? We could see price do something like this, sweep this liquidity, and continue higher. So that's what I can see in price at the moment. I really would not like to. Nah, let's see price sweep. I like to see price sweep. I won't get involved in this market because of what I'm saying. So I won't even look to buy around here or here because it's just me giving the market money, free money, right? So if I'm going to buy Bitcoin for the short-term retracement, I need to see price trade into this zone here, right? And yeah, we need to see price trade back into the zone, and then we might continue higher to sweep this high. This will be your low hanging fruit high before you target. So this would be my target, right? This would be my target. So if we get, let's say, something like this, let's see, yeah, here, low, and then we'll target this high. 1:2, right? So when price hits this low, you could look for your well, signature implies, right? You look for your entries here, and then you enter. But for, yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it, right? So let's do for Earth, and I'll be done with this. So for Earth, we are Ethereum, Ethereum, Ethereum. For Ethereum, we have this, right? We have a liquidity here. We have another liquidity here, right? And then we have this fair value gap, right? So we could see price take out this low into this fair value gap, right? We could see price do this and then reverse. So if you see price around 500, I mean, sorry, excuse me. We should be going all in. What's wrong with me? We should be going all in, right? And please, 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 please. I am not, this is not financial advice. I beg you. This is not financial advice, right? This is not financial advice. Yeah. So I could go longs here. I could go long here, right? I could take longs here. So, um, let me put that disclaimer out there first before someone says, yeah, they took a trade because this is no financial advice. Do your own research. All right. So, for for um for Eth for Ethereum, we need to see price Ethereum. Okay, we are almost at this other block here. And if Bitcoin is going to retrace off of that other block, then we should see the same thing for this. But for this guy, we could, sweep this highs right here because we have a fair value gap that has been left open here and untapped. So, I mean, we could come sweep it, but the ideal thing I want to see is for price to continue trading lower from this fair value gap, right? Yeah. But I don't think I'll be participating in. Okay, hold on. Let's see. So, yeah, this is monthly. Um, order book, right? We don't have any fair value gap open, so yeah. So definitely around this side, and we're creating a fair value gap here as well on the weekly. So let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, same thing here as well, right? This is bad. Same thing here as well. Liquidity. And then we have this points of interest, right? We have this 4 hour. Oh, that's a daily, rather. Wow. We have this daily fair value gap here, right? You see price sweep this fair value gap down into the zone. Mhm. I won't take longs here. I want to see price trade lower first before I take longs to this. But if we get price trading into the fair value gap first, then I'll only be looking for shorts down to the downside, right? So that's basically it. Right? That's basically it. Right? Okay, guys, this is where I'm going to stop for today. Um, do have a wonderful week trading. I'll be